This landscape is dry and inhospitable. It doesn't scream trout, but in fact, one of the rarest species in America lives here. Yes, in the arid desert mountains of New Mexico, there exists a survival story unlike any other. Join me on a 3-day trip in pursuit of this incredible fish. It won't be easy. I'll backpack long miles, flirt with heat exhaustion, and break a rod. But in the end, it'll all be worth it. The fish that we're looking for on this trip is the Gila trout, a desert specialist locked away in remote and rugged canyons of the Southwest. And the evolutionary history of the Gila trout is kind of insane. During glacial periods around 1 million years ago, this species' ancestors moved freely between the mountains and the Pacific Ocean, traveling up rivers via the Gulf of California. As our climate warmed, the Southwest transitioned into what it's become today, much warmer and much drier. Because of this, the rivers those ancestors used mostly dried up. But just enough suitable water remained, and in these secluded headwaters in New Mexico and Arizona, distinct populations evolved into the Gila trout we know today. Speaking of secluded headwaters, that's exactly where I'm heading. Down deep in this rocky gorge, little Gila trout swim. So before I start the climb down, I have to show you guys this because it really made an impact on me. This is an agave plant. Most agave plants don't have a 20-foot tall flower on top of them, but this one did. Why? Well, it turns out agave plants flower only once in their lifetime, right before they die. They use all of their existing energy and send up a massive stalk topped with rows of flowers and eventually seeds. It's a visual representation of the cycle of life. It's both deeply sad and impressive and beautiful at the same time. As I stood next to this plant, I thought about the time that it had spent on top of this cliff, likely 30 years or more. And I thought about the next generation that it would soon be supporting. I also thought about my own life, because it's easy to get into your own head when you're out alone in the wilds, after all. I don't know, it just made me think about how time just keeps marching on, but nature, us included, tries its best to find a way. That can be a hard pill to swallow, but I think it can also inspire us to make the most of what time we do have here. So, thanks for the inspiration and the introspection, agave. You did well. The trail drops sharply as morning light bounces off the canyon walls. It was loose and steep, and 1,500 feet of descent stood in my path. I stopped to take a look at the various plants and insects along the way. But the Gila trout called, and as the day kept heating up, the reward of wading into the cold and clear water pushed me forward. After finally reaching the bottom, I realized just how much of a pain it was going to be to hike out of here in the coming days, but luckily that was a problem for future me. I ended up hiking a good ways along the creek until finding a nice flat section to call home. Let me give you guys a quick tour of what I brought down here with me for these 3 days. All this crap here, this is nothing you need to know about. This is just camera gear. Don't worry about that. It weighs about 5 pounds. One water bottle. We're gonna be next to the creek, so that should suffice. Fishing gear. We've got our fly box, the handy pack net, really awesome little net for backpacking, and just a little bag full of some tippet, etc. Food. Big old bag of food. I am hoping to cook some really good stuff while I'm down here, treat myself right, but we'll get into that when we actually get to cooking. Got a little cheap, flimsy cutting board, nice and lightweight. It works. Sunscreen, of course. We're in the desert after all. Inside here is all my cooking equipment. We've got a skillet, mug, knife, lighter, pot lifter, stove itself, a spork, and some aluminum foil to use as a lid. We've got the hammock, a tarp, a bug net, and some stakes, neoprene booties, some more camera crap, some extra dry pants for nighttime, a beanie in case it gets chilly, and then in here I've got 2 quilts, one to go underneath my hammock to keep my underside warm, a 20 degree for the top, and then a puffy jacket for around camp. We've got a little small backpacking pillow and 2 Tenkara rods, and that's gonna do it for these 3 days down here in the canyon. I'm gonna live off of these items only. Now that I made a mess with my backpack out here, let's get the hammock set up. I'm gonna go between this tree here and this guy over here. Got a pretty cool strap system on here. Just goes right around and kind of clips onto itself with it's called a Dutch beaner, like a carabiner kind of alternative. And I've got 2 little triangles next to the hammock that I can cinch up. Basically just try to get it remotely level, tighten it up, and we're good to go. Always, always a little apprehensive the first time getting in there. All right, yeah, this is gonna do just fine. What a beautiful campsite. So cool. All right. Got nice clear water down here, but I am going to purify it with my SteriPen. It just uses a little bit of UV light, kills any nasty viruses or bacteria. Well, I don't think I want to cook anything hot for lunch, but I am definitely getting hungry and also a little bit sleepy. So I think I'm gonna make some tea and whip out this little charcuterie board that I made here in the cooler. Got some nice cheddar cheese, some olives. So we'll have a nice cold snack for lunch. And I think after that, it's time to start exploring the waters and seeing if we can find some Gila trout.
Lunch complete, I made my way to the water. It's a beautiful little hole with ample room to cast, so I rig up my 12-foot Tenkara rod Yari. This rod has a bit of fiberglass in it, casts like a dream, and should be perfect for the fish size I was anticipating. Of course, I was still fresh and ignorant at this point, and unfortunately over the next little bits, I was going to learn the hard way that things weren't going to go so smoothly. Can you see the creek behind all those trees? Yeah, that's about what I'll be contending with for the rest of the day. Seeing this, I immediately switched out my 12-foot rod for the Kita 330, which is a little over 10 feet. But honestly, if I had known it was going to be this tight down here, I'd have brought something even shorter. But what could I do? I had to work with what I chose to bring.
And that's what made this right here so devastating. I'm in total disbelief here and beyond upset with myself. I whipped that rod tip so perfectly against a branch that it snapped right in two. This was going to be a huge blow to my ability to fish this creek effectively. At this point, with half the day over and not a hole in sight that wasn't choked with trees, I felt totally defeated. I sat by the creek for quite a while. I had 2 more full days here, but for what? I couldn't see a way to make this work. But a little time passed. I soaked in the beauty around me and tried to let it heal my soul just a little bit. I had to keep trying, so I left the water and began hiking, hoping against hope that I'd find some fishable water with the gear I now had at my disposal. I hiked a ways, maybe a couple miles. The wind picked up, sapping the moisture right out of the air, and the temperature soared. I continued on, but I never found that fishable opening. All I found was fatigue. I'm down to push the limits and take some calculated risk, but the potential for heat stroke combined with the fact that I was alone and far away from rescue seemed a step too far. As I was hiking further and further, I could see at my GPS, a spot that potentially looked like it could be a little bit more open. But the trail just kept gaining elevation and just kept going up and up and up. And I never could find that opening. And as the trail kept going up, it was just a sheer drop off. Really, really inhospitable land here. And I didn't see a way down to it, even if I could see it, which I didn't. And the more I pushed, really the more that I felt like, maybe I could potentially be getting heat stroke almost, I'm sweating like crazy. It's really hot out here. I'm drinking as much water as I can, but it's not a position you want to put yourself in when you're out in the middle of nowhere and help could be hours away. So I turned around. I'm back at camp now. I'm pretty disappointed. Pretty disappointed in myself. I wish I don't know if I could have studied this place a little bit more, or I should have put, my absolute shortest rod in the pack. God, it's like 3 ounces. Like, why wouldn't I bring, something super, super small? But this is the situation I find myself in. So I don't know. I've got to think about it a little bit, but still happy to be here. Still happy to be around such beautiful sights and sounds. Time to relax. After a couple hours, the sun had dipped a bit lower, I felt a lot better, and I decided to set out once more against the odds. This time, downstream, to unexplored waters. And to my surprise, things were still tight, but maybe looking slightly better. I'm back at it. I'm all healed up. And man, all I want is one fish. We're racing sunset at this point. In we go. I'm trying a little downstream presentation real quick. Mostly because I don't want to spook the fish. And because I actually have some proper casting here. A little bit of room. I can swing it in and let the current take it down. That's the best presentation I've made all day here. One of few. Nobody in this hole. We're gonna keep moving, and hopefully, we can find another hole where I can actually make a cast here with this way too long rod of mine. Dang. Thought we might get lucky on this one. But no.
By this point, I had fished for another hour or so, with not a fish in sight. I shouldn't have, but I was beginning to lose hope.
Dang. Even the dirty dab, they don't want it. In fact, I don't even see a trout. I haven't seen a trout yet. Haven't spooked anything that I've seen. I'm sure, I mean, I know I have, but man, this is tough going. This has been a really hard day. Not how I imagined it, but we're gonna keep persevering a bit longer. Oh, I hope we can find one. I really do.
And we will. I finally lucked into a deep pool behind a little log jam that had just enough room to dab my fly in. I still can't believe I hadn't caught or seen a thing up until this point, but in these next few holes, I'll more than make up for it, and all of my previous struggles will be forgotten because I'll catch my first ever Gila trout, and then a few more, with one being quite the sizable catch.
Oh, this feels incredibly hopeless. The wind is going upstream a little bit though, so I'm just kind of letting my dry fly fly through the air, get up in this pocket. This is a very good looking hole. Where are the fish at though? Oh my God. Oh my God. It was a bite. Oh my God. Oh my God. First sign of life all day. Nice fish. Nice fish. Nice fish. Okay. Please, 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 please. Please stay on. I'm in a decent spot here. Not the worst. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Yes! Yes! Oh, baby. Working hard all day. First Gila trout in my life, and it's a really nice one. Oh my God, yes! Yes, that feels so good. Oh my God. Worked so hard for this Gila trout. What an absolute gem. Beautiful, beautiful fish. I am happy. I was thinking that was going to be the last hole, but this is by far the best looking pool so far. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get another one. He came up, ate it slow, real slow. Come on, let's get a repeat. Come on, buddy. There we go, there we go. A little dink, but I will absolutely take it after this hard day we've been having today. Okay, there's actually quite a few larger Gila trout chasing this guy around. Pop you over, there we go. All right, heck yes, heck yes. Gila trout number 2. Check out the par marks on this little beauty. I'm assuming this is a Gila trout. This is, you know, obviously my first time ever fishing for Gila. Let me know in the comments if there's a good way to identify
the youngsters. Third Gila trout. Man, we really saved the day today, and I'm so happy about it. Ooh, yes, yes. This rod is way too long for this creek, but I will say, man, these fish feel incredible on the Yari. If I had a little more room to cast, this would be the ultimate rod for sure. Come here, dude. Oh yeah. Oh, love it, love it. That's a solid fish. I will take a Gila trout that size all day. What do we think? Can we get one more out of here? I honestly think so. Things have turned around in a major way. There we go. That's a nice fish. That's a nice one. This might be the bigger one that was bullying all the other ones I was catching. All right. What an awesome day. That's all it takes, man. Some fish, turn things around. I went from having a great time, enjoying the sights, to flirting with some heat stroke. And now we're on some beautiful Gila trout. My first ever time catching this species down here in southern New Mexico. What an adventure. Nice fish. Sun is getting low. I think after this, we're gonna make our way back and cook up some dinner, sleep under the stars. Well, there we go. My personal best Gila trout. And man, what a looker. I love the subtle beauty of these Gila trout. Those fine spots, the golden hue, and that little pinkish blush that they have underneath it all. Beautiful fish. Heck yeah.
I had some decisions ahead of me. I had turned today around with some fish and I loved it down here, but I had some real concerns that I wouldn't be able to find more fishable water in the coming days, and I certainly didn't want to harass the same fish that I had just caught. And so I made the hard choice to hike out of this canyon in the morning and fish a different stretch of water. And I'm glad that I do, because the next 2 days will be some of the most scenic and special that I've ever had. After a tough hike, I made my way back topside by about 10 in the morning. From here, I'd hop in the car for a quick drive to my new destination, a creek that was absolutely full of waterfalls, giant boulders, sheer canyon walls, and Gila trout.
We are going to find some Gila trout today in this stunning location. I am beyond excited. How beautiful is this? Just wild. In a place as beautiful as this, I really don't care how big these fish are. I'm just enjoying my day out here in this lush stunning canyon. Ooh, I can see them in there. They were following my nymph. Oh, another little hit there. They're just pecking at it though. Come on guys, let's get an eat. Woo! Oh man, oh my. Now there's a nice size heel. Come here, dude. That might be one of the smallest that might be one of the smallest trout I've ever caught. Holy crap. First fish. It's a little Gila trout. That's only the 5th Gila I've ever caught in my life, and he gets the record for the smallest one. My God, that is a dink, the dink of all dinks. What do we think? Is that a record for one of the smallest trout? Let me know if you guys have caught anything smaller. That's like a proper minnow, but a Gila trout nonetheless. So I'm happy.
With the skunk off, I fished a few more promising holes with no luck. I can't say I really minded though, considering the place I was in. It's the end of May, the water is cold and the air is warm. It felt like paradise. And besides, it didn't take too long to find another fish.
There he is. There he is. Beautiful little pocket here, my God. It's like I'm fishing caves. A little nicer fish here. All right, yes. Man, fishing for these Gila trout has been so rewarding. Catching a brand new species and in a canyon as pretty as this. That is it's a special trip. This is a special trip for sure. Quite an adventure. Tree got in the way. Here we go. Come on, come on. There we go. Oh, nice fish. Heck yeah.
I mentioned earlier that the joy in catching Gila, for me, came from the places they lived. That's true, but I don't want to discount the subtle beauty of them either. The golden hue, the pinpoint spots, that hint of a pink blush down the lateral line, all comes together to create a very handsome little fish. This next catch was seriously amazing. Waterfalls have this ability to draw us in and command our attention. Their sound, the spectacle of it all. And for that reason, I've always loved catching fish underneath them.
Ha ha! Gila trout in the whitewater waterfall. Epic. Heck yeah, dude. So cool. Not a bad one either. All right.
How cool is that? Another beautiful fish and arguably one of the prettiest places I've ever fished.
This Tenkara Rodco Yari, it's my absolute favorite rod. My absolute favorite Tenkara rod. I love the little hints of fiberglass. It just feels like a scalpel. It's a beautiful rod and it's so much fun to fight modest fish on. How well even you know the 6-inch Gila trout fight on this thing. It's just it's very cool, very cool. And there's one right there. There's one right there. We got a solid 4 or 5 incher. But from the boulder cave, I mean, shoot, that's so cool.
This is a really magical spot. And these trout are so unique and so special, carving out an existence here in these desert mountains. I mean, it is arid. There's aloe, there's cactus all around. It feels like a legitimate desert, and yet these trout have managed to make a life for themselves. Pretty special fish.
I used to live back east, and one of my favorite trees there by far was the American sycamore, which laid claim to the largest deciduous tree in North America. This one here, a slightly different species, is the Arizona sycamore. I just love its ghostly white branches and the way they zigzag and stretch out across the canyon. Its scaly mishmash of light and dark patches of bark. Such character. This beauty here is the Arizona sister. I saw this large butterfly from afar off and on all day. I saw those orange patches, and to me, it looked positively tropical. I really wanted to see one up close, so when this guy landed for a sip of water, I was over the moon. Seeing all these foreign to me plants and animals added such a sense of wonder to this trip. The lizards were super interesting as well. I saw a ton of species. These guys, the ornate tree lizard, were spotted basking on rocks all throughout the creek. This next lizard is a gray checkered whiptail, and I never knew this was a thing until researching this species, but apparently they're all female. They lay eggs and they hatch despite being unfertilized. That is wild. Today was probably my favorite of the trip so far, despite never catching another fish after those first few. The sights and sounds of this canyon were unmatched and really provided me with an experience that I just couldn't get back home in Colorado.
It's the end of a beautiful day spent in desert canyon country, catching incredible Gila trout. I'm so happy, and I'm also so exhausted. Been going hard all day from down in the canyon where I started, straight up, and then right on to that next canyon. It's time for bed, guys. It's time for bed. Had an incredibly successful day, and I am loving it, but I need some well-deserved rest. I'm parked at the trailhead to a very special creek that I'm going to be filming tomorrow, and I am beyond excited to get in there, catch some more Gila trout, and check out another unique fishery. Thank you for watching today. See you guys in the morning. We've got some very skinny water on this creek today, and lots and lots of algae along the bottom, which is gonna make things a little difficult as far as getting snagged up and whatnot. So I've thrown on a little purple haze dry fly so that I can kind of stay on the surface, stay away from that algae. It's early morning here,
about 6:30. I'm not too sure if any of these fish are going to be down to eat a dry fly yet. Nevertheless, I think we'll try this because it's going to give us a lot less headaches throughout the day as far as cleaning off our hook points. Is that a fish? I think that was a fish. I don't, man, I must have been, I'm still asleep. I think a fish had my fly. I didn't see a rise though. I don't know if it went under briefly and then it got picked up. I think that was a trout. When I didn't set the hook, I lifted it up to cast, felt a little bit of resistance, and I swear I saw a little flash under the water there. Not a great way to start the day, but we do have plenty of pools to go still. Although I've heard in this creek, the trout can be kind of few and far in between, so I don't want to be botching too many opportunities like that. Nothing. All right, let's keep moving up.
This is a prickly pear cactus. They produce fruits known as tuna, which are important food sources to many animals, including, to my surprise, things like coyotes, which are, of course, usually carnivorous.
There was a hit right there. Some tight quarters here. This place does actually open up into like a stunning slot canyon, which is really what I'm going for. But I'm hiking up that way, hiking through the real woodsy section here, and saw this pretty little hole and couldn't help but take a couple casts. That was definitely a little rise on my fly though, which is a really good sign. I was worried they wouldn't necessarily even be hitting it in the nice cool weather this morning, but yeah, we might be in for some luck here. All right, well, let's take that little bit of positivity and we'll keep moving forward and find the really good stuff. Oh boy, this is the first proper good-looking hole here today. And what a stunner, my goodness. Nice overhanging box canyon, incredibly cool. We're getting some really nice drifts through here. There we go. Here we go. I was just about to say I like the way this drift is looking. Oh, he went right under the moss. Right under the moss and popped himself off. That's all right. That's all right. Hey, that's a good sign. We're not that far into the creek and we've already got a little action. So I see another really incredible looking hole tucked up under this cliff, and we're gonna head up that way. And hopefully we'll continue getting more action. We're off to a good start today though. Woo-wee, check out this run. Nice current, steadily flowing right alongside this big rock wall to the right here. Fantastic looking. It's not super deep, but it could be deep enough to be holding some trout, so we'll fish it. We got our fingers crossed. Man, this place is beautiful. Oh yeah, oh, there we go. All right, first fish of the day here. Oh, there we go. Nice, beautiful little Gila. Heck yeah. Oh man, he's not big, but in a place like this, absolutely stunning. There we go. What a stunning little fish, huh? Such special creatures. Descendants of rainbow trout, came from the Pacific Ocean and got isolated here in the desert. That is just such a cool story. These guys are so special. And man, they live in a special place.
Although small, I was happy to be on the board. I knew the canyon would continue to open up and present some nice holes going forward, so on I went.
Oh my gosh, look at this hole, guys. Beautiful waterfall dropping down into a deep pool. Pretty incredible. There we go. Oh, no, no, no. That was a nice eat. That was a decent sized Gila right there. Dang. This moss is tricky because they just dive down and they go right into it, and I think it helps pop these barbless hooks off pretty easily. You know, that's gonna be maybe the name of the game today. 1 or 2 fish per pool. So let's keep moving up. I mean, who knows what else could be around the corner. We started from a nice forested little rocky stream, and now we're out here in this wide open canyon, casting dries into big pools below waterfalls. So let's continue on and see what happens.
As I hiked up the creek, my eyes turned to this little guy, a canyon tree frog. These small amphibians are relatively common within riparian zones of the Southwest. Despite being tree frogs, this species generally prefers to perch on rock faces. I've always loved amphibians and reptiles, and in fact have spent more than a few of my years seeking them out to photograph. When zoomed in like this, I love seeing this individual's breathing patterns, or maybe it's his heartbeat. I'm not sure. This won't be the last time we see this species, but goodbye for now.
There we go. I was giving that dry fly just a little bit of action there, tapping on the handle, working it a little bit, and that's all that Gila trout needed. There we go. Gila number 2 in the net. Yes, baby.
And look at this spot too. Oh my God. So perfect. What a beautiful day. All right, we got the biggest hole yet here. Another huge plunge pool below a big waterfall. There we go. Light hook set. Stay on, my friend. Ooh, we got the moss. We got the moss we're tangling with here. All right, there we go. Another Gila trout in a beautiful waterfall pool.
We saw some cool lizards yesterday, like the all-female gray checkered whiptail, which I still can't get over. But this guy is my favorite of the trip. And it is a guy, a big, bold, colored-up male in the midst of courtship. I bet he was 6-7 inches long. That's one for the kids. If you know, no refunds. It's a Clark's spiny lizard, by the way. And that bright blue patch only comes out during springtime. It's really quite a striking species. The female can be seen here a little higher up the tree. He chased her around for quite a while, oblivious to my filming.
All right, back in we go. Let's drag a nymph through here real quick. I put a real subtle size 18 black woolly waltz worm. This little guy represents a lot of everything, but particularly kind of looks like a little caddis to me. I think as long as these fish aren't absolutely tired of me yet, we might be able to pick up another one here. Just gotta try to avoid that moss. I'm using the Tenkara Rod Co., the Yari today. This rod is an absolute dream. A little bit of fiberglass in the blank, and is actually by far my favorite rod that I own. And there's a Gila trout right there. Let's see if we can keep this guy pinned. That is something the Yari is good at. It's got a little bit of fiberglass in the blank, and it flexes deep. So it really, typically is really good at keeping things pinned. That hasn't been the case today, but we might just land this guy. There we go. Heck yeah. Check this out. Another nice waterfall and nice deep pool. I was gonna switch back to the dry, but I decided to keep the nymph on in case I managed to find a deeper pool, and I sure enough have. And here is a nice sized trout here. Get away from that moss, dude. I cannot lose you. I do not want to lose any more fish in the algae. There we go, yes. Nicest one of the day for sure. Heck yeah.
I kept fishing this hole a little while longer, but I kept hearing some distracting noises behind me in the creek. Our friend the canyon tree frog is back, and he's looking for a mate. Lucky him. By the way, check out how much larger the female is in this species. No offense or anything. Just like our inspirational agave plant from before, the cycle of life continues.
Working my way towards the head of the pool here now. This is quite a deep hole. I wouldn't be surprised if we find some more fish in here. There we go. Stay out of those weeds, man. I've lost so many fish to algae today. There we go. Another nice Gila. The Gila does not give up its secrets easily, and these Gila trout do not come easily. But if you can put in the work, my goodness, the reward is just amazing. Catching these wonderful, wonderful fish in such beautiful desert country. Such a good time.
Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.